For Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, tell us sort of how you approached the Brad Pitt character. Just what you thought about him, what you wanted, besides other than the Hawaiian shirt, which the script was called for. But
Sure.
I noticed his boots, I just remember seeing the movie the first time and not even watching it necessarily or focused on costumes, but I remember thinking his boots are really important to him.
His moccasins?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing that really inspired me when I was a young person was I had read this quote that Laurence Olivier said that he'd always started with his characters from the shoes up. And that really informed his posture and, who that character was. And I took that to heart as a kind of assist, how costumes can be an assist to an actor to kind of get there, quote unquote. So I knew when I got the pleasure of being hired to work with Quentin, the wonderful thing is not only would it be photographed beautifully by Robert Richardson, who's a master of light and one of the most incredible Oscar-winning cinematographers, who's collaborated with Quentin, I think, since Kill Bill. So a million amazing, that's a dream in itself. But Quentin is known to have like a fascination with feet. I don't know if you know
Oh,
that.
my God, that's right.
Of course.
He's way into feet.
Yes.
Classic.
But for a costume designer, that's a dream
course.
because that means that, we work so hard in creating the character costumes head to toe. And this meant they would, the shoes would be photographed. They'd be really important. I mean, they always are. But so I actually used the shoes in this movie for our principal characters as kind of the gravitas for the characters. So Brad and Leo both had done a lot of prep work with Quentin talking about the characters, and Quentin shared so much reference with them because this whole movie is about real people and real events.
Yeah.
But at the center of the narrative are these two fictional characters played by Leo and Brad. So they were really an amalgamation of these redundant actors at that time and their support guys. They're, being the stuntman and Cliff Booth. So they had done a lot of character work together. And Quentin shared with me, a lot of backstory he created. And also for Leo and Brad, he created these amazing backstories of where they came from, who they are, and what their likes are, which just help us do our job. And one thing that really resonated for me is this mysterious past that Cliff Booth has. We're not sure if he killed his wife, and people fear him, and he's kind of an outsider, and he kind of lives this weird, lonely life. And I figured as a stuntman, first of all, he's wearing jeans because it's an extension of workwear at the time. And so that made sense. And the idea of, rather than putting like him in a really strong boot, which you'd kind of expect from a stuntman, the idea of putting him in a soft shoe where is it almost more intimidating, like he can really kick your ass.
Yeah,
with,
he's really light on his feet.
Yeah. And just that I thought was almost more scarier. Not that his character was scary, but that, as if you could fear him more. So, and then also, one thing Quentin and I liked about the moccasins is it showed he's not totally out of touch and out of time like Rick. Like he's a cowboy stuntman, and the trend and the youth culture movement, so the moccasins kind of fit in that, as opposed to Rick Dalton,
who's very old school.
Cool,
and he has cowboy boots. So his cowboy boots are kind of
he's a relic,
buttoned up.
He's a relic. In a way.
And Quentin and I created this backstory that he would have stolen his boots off the Bounty Law, the Lancer set, those Westerns in the movie, and that those give him kind of like a bravado, right? When you wear cowboy boots, you feel really kind of strong, like a badass. So those really encapsulate. And then of Sharon Tate, played by Margot Robbie, with the go-go boots, and that really kind of encapsulate that time. So I guess you could kind of tell the movie through the shoes. So